Welcome back to the Power Max Mini Challenge from Brands Hatch. Now, one of the great things about the Mini Festival is that fans can get up close and personal with the cars, and particularly so with what's happening behind me, which is the public grid walk. Really, really popular amongst everyone here. Once this has taken place, we've actually got the Gen 3s and the JCWs on the grid. They're ready to go. They're racing next, but they already did one race yesterday. So let's go over to Ben for those results.
Thanks, Michelle. In the F56s, it was Lawrence Davey who took the win from Ryan Road, and then William Phillips completed the rostrum. Rob Smith was in fourth, and David Grady rounding out the top five. Amongst the JCWs, Jono Brown victorious from Neil Newstead and Steve Ruxton Cocker. Then it was Scott Adams and Alan Taylor.
Thanks for that, Ben. And joining me now, I have got in pole position for the JCWs, Jono Brown. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, so how was it for you yesterday?
Yeah, it was good. It was didn't have any practice on the Friday. It was a late minute deal, so we came into qualifying with nothing really known. Obviously I've done the circuit a few times, but yeah, qualified third. There's only a 10th in it, so very happy with that.
Yeah.
And obviously the race came and chaos as always, but great racing. But after the red flag, got off after a good start, and yeah, led from flag to lights to flag even, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, mega. Honestly, same again today would be brilliant.
Yeah, it would be nice, and lovely to see your trophy there on top of the car as well for the grid walk. This is always really popular, isn't it?
Yeah, the Mini Festival is brilliant to see everyone and all the enthusiasts come out and share the day with us, and obviously see what it's really all about, so it's great.
Joining us for one race only, Ian Curley. One race for Mini Challenge only, but not a stranger to Mini racing at all.
No, I've raced Classic Mini for 20 years, so we've done a lot of races, won some championships, and yeah, I'm currently racing the FIA Historic car, so yeah, good weekend to meet with the oldest minis you can race and the newest minis you can race.
So how's it gone so far with the racing?
The Historic's been real good. I've had 2 races, 2 wins, and the second one was in tricky conditions, and we're still finding our feet on this car really, so I've got a bit of work to do. Got to learn to drive it a little bit different to how I generally drive, but yeah, having real good fun, car's real good, and yeah, hopefully we can get out for some more races later in the year.
David Grady, you came into this weekend second in points for the championship. Obviously that's all going to change, but I wanted to ask, Charlie Butler Henderson not making an appearance this weekend, how's that going to affect things for you?
It's going to be a good chance for us to sort of make hay while the sun shines really, and sort of try and get as many points from this meeting as we can until Charlie makes a return.
Well, that's it for the public grid walk. It's all over, which means that it's race time. Now, conditions have been declared wet for this one, which could change things up slightly. We have already got Jono Brown, we spoke to him, pole position for the JCWs. For the Gen 3, Lawrence Davey is on pole. So let's go over to Ben for that full grid.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, the wet race adds an extra level of intrigue. What it means is that basically it's the driver's own choice. So they go on slicks, it's their risk. If it rains heavier, the organisers will not stop proceedings, and it looks as if they're all going to gamble on untreaded tyres. This is how they line up in full then, with Lawrence Davey and Ryan Road on the front row, then William Phillips and Rob Smith from David Grady and Harry Volcard, Lee Patterson and Dan Prosser. Amongst the JCWs, Jono Brown to the fore ahead of Scott Adams, then it's Steve Ruxton Cocker and Alan Taylor, Jason Jeffries and Hamish Brandon. Neil Newstead will be very quick from 8th as the 5-second board is shown to the drivers. We've got one car heading to start from the pit lane. I think that's Sam Osborne, as we're about ready for the off here at Brands Hatch. Long hold for the drivers, and away we go now, and it's Lawrence Davey who holds his nerve. He gets a good start, so does David Grady, but already Ryan Road, the bright white car, looks to draw alongside Davey as the pair of them plummet down through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. It's William Phillips who's up into third, so they then all fight for position behind him, with a contact, and around that's William Phillips who gets rotated around somehow. They all avoid him, and he rejoins, having lost only about 10 places, but that would have been a heart-stopping moment from Phillips, being pitched into that spin in front of the rest of the field. Amazingly, they're all still running, and it's Neil Newstead and Jono Brown looking to fight at the front of the JCWs. Meanwhile, Lee Patterson on to terms with David Grady as Lawrence Davey, the blue car, leads the way from Ryan Rhodes. They pick up the pace through Clark Curve on to the Brabham Straight. And we've got that little gap in the field where they all jumped on the anchors to avoid the rotating Phillips. There is Phillips a little bit lower down the pack as the JCWs fight their way through as well. Now let's have another look at it then. In car with James Lutz as he just takes space of action from Harry Volkart. It's up ahead of him. Rob Smith goes for a gap. It's not really there. Bodywork scattered everywhere. 3 cars into the space that's large enough for one won't work. It's William Phillips who lost out. He went around, and as you can see, Rob Smith lost his front splitter as now the rain just begins to worsen. The drivers have got the windscreen wipers a go-go, and that means that Ryan Rowe decides now's the time for a move, and he just forces the gap on Lawrence Davey. There was no way that Ryan Rowe should have got through, but he managed to. Now, can he hold it? That's going to be the question. But Davey has got a lot of strength and momentum. Now, who will blink first on the brakes for Paddock Hill Bend? Oh, when they make a little bit of contact, both of them have got wing mirrors pointing in all sorts of angles. As meanwhile, Neil Newstead looking to carve his way through the JCW field, and that is Steve Ruxton Cocker, who's just forced his way past. So Adam Taylor as well. There is Hamish Brandon, who also looks to join in. He gains more places as well. This is the beauty of the Power Max Mini Challenge. Wherever you look, there are always good battles throughout the field. As now Ryan Rhodes got the advantage. Will he be able to sprint clear? You can see just how precarious it is in terms of grip. The car's really sliding on the slightly slicker sheen of the surface as across the line they sprint. Meanwhile, in car with Neil Newstead, here is the move on Steve Ruxton Cocker. Newstead climbing right up onto his tail as they came out of Druids, gap to the inside at Graham Hill Bend. And that was relatively straightforward for Newstead. For Ryan Rowe, it's anything less than straightforward, but he and Lawrence Davey are now just beginning to open up a little bit of a gap over the fight for third place. Here it is. Rob Smith has got Lee Patterson right behind him. Also in the mix is David Grady. Well, the windscreen wipers have stopped, which suggests the precipitation has just eased up momentarily. It's still going to be a little bit slippery as they get on the brakes, Paddock Hill Bend, and Ryan Rowe understeering a little bit. He doesn't make the apex that he wants. The car goes sideways. He's going to have to stretch it out, and he does through the gravel, and Rowe slips down into second place. Fortunately for him, Rob Smith not quite close enough to challenge to demote him to third. But Rowe will be very, very disappointed with that. It was a tiny mistake. Gravel trap slowing him down. Now, can Rowe do anything about closing back onto turns with Lawrence Davey? Meanwhile, Luke Reed and Harry Volkart busy fighting a little bit lower down the order. That is for 9th and 10th place. This is a battle for second, as Rhodes hasn't closed up to Lawrence Davey, but he has got Rob Smith, Lee Patterson and David Grady all forming a fairly disorderly queue behind him, and Rhodes makes another mistake, puts 2 wheels onto the grass. Smith goes for a gap, it's not there, they crunch bodywork. Meanwhile, Neil Newstead has eased away from Hamish Brandon in the battle at the front of the JCW class. Don't forget, Newstead starting from the back of the grid. It's been one of the classes of the JCW field all season long. He has been able to build a reasonably comfortable buffer over Brandon. So here's another look then at how it all went wrong for Ryan Rowe. It was on the brakes into Paddock Hill Bend. He braked desperately late. The car understeering at that point. He couldn't get it down for the apex, and as it went sideways, he had to correct it to go straight on, and that meant that he bounced through the gravel trap. A little bit of bodywork ripped away as well, rejoining in second, and that is where he remains, and still under intense pressure from Rob Smith. But Rob Smith can't get too intimate here, because if he does, he risks ripping off his radiator. And as a result, you can see Lawrence Davey just beginning to ease away. We are getting very late into the race as well, as Rhodes having to defend from Smith. But Ryan Rhodes has improved so much through the course of this season. He was a little bit wayward at the start of the year. The pace has always been there, and now the consistency is coming through as well. So Rob Smith in third, Lee Patterson fourth, David Grady in fifth. Lawrence Davey leads. He is looking to make it 2 from 2 here at the Mini Festival. So they sprint along the Cooper Straight. Road has still got his windscreen wipers going. I think it's more that he's had a chance to turn them off in the heat of the action as they head through clearways. Suspect the checkered flag could well be ready and waiting this time around as Lawrence Davey accelerates through. Indeed it is. So Davey is going to take the win and does so in comfortable fashion, with Ryan Rhodes holding on for second place and Rob Smith completing the podium. What about the JCW class? Well, Neil Newstead, having built that slight buffer over Hamish Brandon, hasn't seen it be reeled back in, and so Newstead, a little bit of body work damaged the side of his door, nonetheless is going to power through. He takes victory in the JCW class from Hamish Brandon and Steve Ruxton-Cocker. So look at the classification with the win for Davey from Ryan Rhodes and Rob Smith after their great battle. Then Lee Patterson and David Grady. William Phillips recovering to an excellent 6th after that early spin. Amongst JCW, Neil Newstead winning it from Hamish Brandon and Steve Ruxton-Cocker, and then Jason Jeffries, Scott Adams and Alan Taylor, the top 6. So applause on to the podium, first of all for our JCW winner, Neil Newstead. So applause from the pit lane, and then Lawrence Davey, the F56 and overall race winner. 2 wins from 2 starts so far at Brands Hatch. Now it's time for the draw for the grid reversal for the final race of the weekend, and it's the top 5 who will be reversed. So plenty for Davey to do in race 3.
Double win, you must be quite chuffed with yourself.
Yeah, it was a very good weekend so far. So that was very tough. Ryan put us under a load of pressure, and then I had to put the pressure back on him when he got past. So yeah, it made me work for it, and it was a hard one, but no, it was a good one.
Neil, top of the podium from the back of the grid.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. After yesterday, starting from the pit lane, I knew I had the pace in the car. So what I didn't want to do is go out and try and do it on the first lap after the little incident yesterday. So I just picked my moment, sat back, and then I thought, I've not got the pace, let's go for it now, and just went through the cars. The only person I had real problems with was my team partner, Steve, who decided to try and take me out on the exit of clearways. I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, that's racing, I suppose. He wasn't going to give me an inch.
A very happy Lawrence Davey and a great result for Neil Newstead. We are not done here at Brands Hatch with the mini festival. We've still got 2 more races for you. Now the only thing is, my tummy's rumbling a little bit, and I'm thinking, where can I possibly get a good Sunday roast here? Guess what? I think I know just the place. Find out after the break.